Let's start. Vasudeva
Vasudevasukam Devam Kamsacharunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah.
Okay. I want to start with the first one.
Om Sahana Bhavatu
Om Sahana Bhavatu
Sahano Bhunaktu
Sahano Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam Karavavahe
Saviryam Karavavahe
Tejasvinavaditamastu
Tejasvinavaditamastu
Ma Vidishavahe
Ma Vidvishavahe
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Asatoma Satkamaya
Asatoma Satgamaya
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya
Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya
Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Purnamada
Om Purnamada
Purnamidam
Purnamidam
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnameva Vashishyate
Purnameva Vashishyate.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll start again with the last week, right? So who can summarize the last week one? Okay, Alia?
An intelligent person can never be sad.
Intelligent person can never be sad. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good one. Hmm?
There are two reasons that people do wrong things.
Uh-huh.
And the first one is fear and the second is temptation.
Good job. So, right, people do wrong things because of temptation and fear. Okay, you want me to separate you guys too?
Oh, no.
No? Okay, good. Sean, you can come here in the middle. Or how about Saisha, you want to come here?
I really don't care.
Okay, so come here. I can see you. You can come in the forward too. Okay. So tell me, what else? Good job, Shia. Anybody else?
We talked about the Pandit.
We talk about the Pandit. What is the meaning of Pandit? Let's get that.
Expert in life or something.
Anything.
Or anything.
That's the definition.
That's the definition of English word Pandit. But how did the Pandit came from Sanskrit word? What is the meaning of that Sanskrit name Pandit? You were close, yeah.
The person who knows everything. Or I don't know.
Who has a knowledge of?
Everything.
Who has a knowledge of? Okay. Let me see, Risha.
Who has the knowledge of religion?
Religion, okay. Sunny.
Who has knowledge of yourself?
Self. Who has a knowledge of?
Yourself.
Self. Yeah, right? Not the life, not the religion. Self. Okay, so who has a knowledge of self? What were you saying, Saisha? Nothing. Okay, who else raised their hand? Okay, nice. Do not pull each other. Okay, so we talked about Pandit last time, right? Now let me ask you a couple things. What is the name of second chapter? What's the name of second chapter? You remember last class we did a big session of the names. Okay, Sasha.
Summary of something. Gita, yeah.
Yeah, that's in your book, but we actually had a Sanskrit name that we talk about. Sanskrit name that we explain the meaning of that Sanskrit name. Sean, I can see your long, tall hand. What do you have to say? Huh?
I
What is it?
Sankhya Yoga.
Sankhya Yoga. You remember Sankhya? We talk about it. Did anybody write in their notebook? Sankhya Yoga? Right? You did, Sunny? Okay. So what was the meaning of Sankhya? Yes, Sunny.
Path of knowledge.
Path of knowledge. Yeah. So Sankhya Yoga. Guys, if you're not taking notes, take notes. Because it all there, right? I know. But next time keep the notebook. Did you write it? Right? So you need to remember those things because we have to keep revising these things. Just take 15 minutes out of your one time. Like you take 1 hour out, just take 15 minutes more to just go over the last week pages so you know what we had. Just to revise a little bit, right? So it was Sankhya Yoga, which means path of knowledge, right? So Vivek, and we talk about Vivek means what? Sankhya and Vivek is kind of similar word. And Vivek was to differentiate between temporary and permanent, real and non-real. So the person who can differentiate real and non-real or temporary and permanent is a person is Viveki or Pandit who has the entire knowledge of self. Got it? Right? So we talk about that part a little bit. Okay. So if you remember, we did not revise it last week. But when we started second chapter, we divided second chapter in 4 parts. Do you guys remember what were their 4 parts? What was the first part? It's in your notes if I think.
Meditation.
There was one, but what was the first part?
Arjun as a disciple.
Good job. So how did we do it? What was the action? Arjun as a disciple. Good. So it was Arjun as a disciple. Okay, you want to go for the second?
What are we?
What are we, right? So how did we do it?
What
are we? Right? So what are we? That was our second part, right? This is what we are learning right now. Slok 11 to 25 will be what are we, right? So we are in the second part of second chapter. Okay, the third one. Saisha wanted to say third one? No? Okay. Sia wants to say?
Spiritual practices.
Spiritual practices. What did we do the action for that? Spiritual practices. Yeah. That was given by Nishi. So we will say Nishi's spiritual practices. Right? So Nishi's spiritual practices was this.
Yeah, write that down in your notebook.
Right? No, there should be Nishi's name on it. That was given by Nishi. Okay. Then we will talk about that name and form doesn't matter. So then Nishi name doesn't matter will come. Slowly. I'm just kidding. Okay. Then fourth one. Okay. I think she will answer
The
me.
difference between enlightened and unenlightened.
Person, yeah. Enlightened person. So difference between enlightened and non-enlightened person. So how would you do the action with that one? What was it?
Oh, so it's like the.
Difference between
Oh.
enlightened person, right? So difference between enlightened person. We are getting very weak in learning this one. So let's do it one more time. So everybody should remember. And whenever we start chapter 2, we're going to revise this 4 steps. So remember that, guys, okay? What was the first one?
Arjun
Everybody.
as a disciple.
Janvi, we are ready. So Arjun as disciple. Good job. Sean, disciple. Okay. Now the second one is what are we? So we're gonna do what are we. Now the third one is
Spiritual
practice. Nishi is given spiritual practice. So there you go. Okay. So everybody is doing this. Neil, can we do spiritual practice? Sean, spiritual practice. Good job.
Sean.
Okay, and then last one.
Difference.
Difference between enlightened person and non-enlightened. Right? So everybody got it?
Yep.
We will get it going? Okay. So we got to the point where Arjun started teaching and why Krishna Bhagavan started teaching to Arjun, right? Now the last slok we did was 11, but we will go to the 10th slok, right? I have one more question, which Avika will not answer that question. Okay, so why did Krishna smile when in the slok 10th? There are too many hands raised, so let me pick one. How about Ansh?
Cause now that he asked that, it means he was ready to learn the Bhagavad Gita. So now he could tell him everything he needs to know.
Yeah, so he's ready because he surrendered himself to God, right? So that's why. Sia, you want to say anything?
He wanted to learn the Bhagavad Gita.
Mm-hmm. So now, Krishna Bhagavan is happy that Arjun is on the right path. Yes.
Because I think someone was trying to teach will teach him something.
Yeah, Krishna Bhagavan. Right? Nisha, you were saying the same thing? Okay. Anybody has a different answer to it? No? Okay. So we all are ready that Krishna Bhagavan smiled because now Arjun is ready and his friend Arjun is on the right path, right? So that was on the slok number 10th. Let's start with 11th, and 11th we did it last time, but we will just revise it one quick time and then we will go on to the 12th one. You ready?
We're stopping at 15, right?
We will see how long we go. So let's start. Hold on. Let me open my book. Everybody is ready? Everybody know the page number?
Yeah. 72.
72. Second chapter, Shlok 11. You guys are good? Okay.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Ashosyan Anvashoshtavam
Ashosyanam Vashosyasvam
Prajnavadamscha Bhashashe
Prajnavadamscha Bhashase
Gatusan Agatasamscha
Gatasunagatasamscha
Nanu Sochanti Pandita
Nanu Shochanti Pandita.
Together?
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashosyana Vashosyasvam Prajnavadascha Bhasase Gatasunagatasumscha Nanu Shochanti Pandita.
Okay. Without reading in the book, who can tell me translation of this slok? Don't read it in the book. Just remember, what did we discuss last time? You will know. What was it? Gatashchan or na Gatashchan? Okay, Sane, except Sane and Krishna. Who can say? Anybody remember? This is a big, this is the foundation of entire Gita. Okay, Avika.
Give warning for grief.
Mourning and grief, yeah. So what was connection? It is right. It was grief, right? It was talking about grief. Okay, see, yeah. I know your Sane, you know. So let's wait till everybody finish. Okay, see, yeah.
Is it that he kept saying no to war?
Yeah, I know. It was something about Krishna Bhagavan says about grief.
Oh my god,
Yeah, and
Is it like people forgot like people that have a lot of knowledge, they don't grieve, like grief doesn't get in their way of achieving something or something like that.
yeah, where you actually got the last line, like the fourth line's meaning. So good. Okay.
You have to learn to be strong instead of holding it. Like whenever you have grief, you shouldn't always keep the grief with you. You should let it go.
Kind of, yeah. Close. Okay, Nishi then.
You shouldn't grieve over the living or the dead.
Good. So whole entire last line is good for good. So Ansh and Nishi actually can't translate it whole last line. Now there is another part to it. Sunday, you want to go for it?
like don't people when you're dead.
Yeah, not grieving over living and dead. Yes.
You have to like let it go and pass on.
Mm-hmm. Good. You have anything, Neil, to add?
Something about the Sri Bhagavan Vacha, because that means like the supreme personality. So he's telling Arjuna to not lament over the people who are dead.
That's right. Good. Okay, Krish.
Okay, so the shlok is Krishna tells Arjun, you're talking like a wise person right now, but wise people don't grieve over the living or the dead.
Okay, that's the whole thing, slok is. So the first line, I think you also missed 1/4 of the slok. 1/4 of the slok is you are grieving on
Oh,
people who
you're
are not
grieving.
supposed to be grieved on. Right? That's the first line. The second line is it says that, yet you are talking, yet you are grieving, but you are talking like a
Wise person.
wise person. But then again, he tells the definition of wise person, saying wise person don't grieve on either living or dead people, right? And we talk about what the grieving means. It's not that we don't take care of them. Grieving means we don't get sad over anybody who is living or dead, or we don't, take it like we do all our responsibilities. Not that you don't take care of living people or you don't take care of people after they died, but you still don't grieve on them, right? That's what the whole slok was. And then he says, you talk wise. What is he saying? A lot of people like you, Arjun, will talk wise. Means knowledge, gaining knowledge is very easy. Anybody can talk like a wise person. But what is the problem?
Experiencing knowledge.
Practicing it, living it,
Experience.
right? So you can get the knowledge of Gita. Everybody will get the knowledge of Gita. Most of people get the knowledge of Gita, but how many can experience it and live it? So Arjun has a lot of knowledge. So he's acknowledging, Arjun, you have a lot of knowledge. You are talking nice words. You are talking good words. Your knowledge is really good. But you are not living it. You are not practicing it. Right? So that's where the whole, the whole foundation is that you don't have the knowledge and you're not having knowledge. But another foundation in this slok comes is that knowledge is the answer to everything, right? So, for right now, if I say anybody has sorrow in their life, any of you guys are going through a sorrow in your life right now? No, right? What kind of sorrow, right? You don't even know about the sorrow. But do you think the sorrow might come?
Yeah.
Right? The sorrow will come?
Maybe.
The sorrow
Depends.
will come?
Depends.
Sure, sometime it will come, right? This is life. It will come. It's not going to be like you are not sorrow-proofed for any reason, right? So sorrow will come. So what are we doing right now? Preparing ourselves to how to react, how to work when the sorrow comes, right? So guys, that's why it is so important for us to understand this slok and going forward. Not for right now. It might not help you right now, but when is it going to help? In future, in your life, when the things will not go according to your way. Right now, your mom and dad are taking care of all your sorrows. They're not letting sorrow touch you, right? But when you're gonna be on your own, you're gonna go out for college, you're gonna go out for doing your own job and own thing, there will be a lot of issues will come, right? At that time, this whole thing will help you. So that's why I'm putting it all in your brain right now, so when these things come, what's going to happen? You are ready to face it. Okay, so that was the foundation of it, and that's where we started. So now let's go to, so one more thing I wanted to address here. Krishna Bhagavan could have started and said, oh, believe in God and you will be fine, and this, you will be okay, your sorrow will be gone. Is that what he said? No, he did not say that, okay, believe in God or do this kind of puja or do that kind of puja and your sorrow will be gone.
Because that's not how it works.
Right? What did he say? Get the knowledge and live it. That's what he gave, right? Now he could say, oh, you know what? your planets in your the Janam Patrika, whoever, have you heard about your astrologically thing?
Oh yeah.
Right? Or your planet is not coming together, that's why the problem is coming. Like you do this puja or that puja, or you wear this nug or that nug, or you do this kind of puja, and everything will be better. Right? Did Krishna Bhagavan say that?
It's not your Chinese New Year.
You're right. So it's not. You are not rabbit, or you are not what? Chinese?
I'm
Whatever.
not like a pig or something.
Pig? Oh, okay.
I'm a
I am
rat.
dragon.
I'm a rat. Oh, Rocky.
What's
I
Raki?
think I'm a rat.
So, does it change my life? Does it not take me to sorrow or to pleasure or to grief? It will take me through that. It doesn't matter, right? So, one important thing that you will understand that all these other things that are being said doesn't make worth to it, right? So, believe in God is important, but believe in all the other things, that's not the answer to everything. We have to actually get the knowledge and practice it, right? You got it? Can we move on to stroke number 12? Now if I ask you stroke number 11, you guys should know now. Okay? And the same goes for stroke number 12 now, what we are going to be reading. Okay, you ready, Isha? Okay, let's go.
Natvevaham jatu nasham. Natvam neme janadipa. Nacheva na bhavishyama. Sarve vayamata param.
Together.
Natvevaham jatu nasham. Natvam neme janadipa. Nacheva na bhavishyama. Sarve vayamata param.
Good job, Isha. Okay, so this one, in this, Krishna Bhagavan starts with saying, there was never a time that I was not there. There was never a time that you were not there. And there was never a time that these king's men were not there. Okay? Nor there will be a time that I will not be there, nor there will be a time that you will not be there, and nor there will be a time that these king's men will not be there. Right? So, it's a very deep slope, and understand this, right? So what he is trying to say is, he is bringing that I am as a Krishna. He did not say that I am a Bhagwan, that I am going to be there. Or you are a human being and you're not going to be there. What did he say? There was never a time that I was not there. There was never a time that Sia was not there. There was never a time that Alia and Janvi and Ansh and Saisha were not there. And there will be never a time that Nishi and Parsi and Sean and Sane and Varshini and Neil, anybody will not be there. Now, how would you take this look? What does that mean? Okay, Sane.
I think that like he says that there's never a time when I was not there,
Mm-hmm.
like and like you. I don't think he's talking about. He's talking about your like. I'm not sure, but like your soul maybe, not your body, because the body does cease to exist. And I guess. Yeah.
Good. You want to say something, Neil?
I think like what he means by that, kind of like Sunny says, it means that our consciousness or soul will always be there. It will never go away. Only the body will keep on changing.
Mm-hmm. Good job. So that is the entire meaning of it. Okay. Sia, what do you
I
want
was
to?
gonna say the same thing.
Same thing? Okay. So here is a little story for you guys. So, in Atlantic Ocean, a little wave was born. What was born?
A little wave.
A little wave was born. Like how little waves do? They make little waves, other little waves friends. Like how Risha and Sia are friends, right? Little waves make little waves friends. And then they go to little wave school. Like every little wave go to school, right? So there was a wave school. They went to the little wave school. Now in that little wave, when they went to school, they saw big waves. And this little wave thought, oh my God, there are big waves. So big waves are there, right? Now life is not all game and fun, right? So to begin with, they are wet. Life is for wave is wet already. I'm just saying wet because they are wet, right? Waves are wet. Okay. So now they are, she sees the big waves and she says, oh my God, there are such a big wave. I'm so jealous. When I would be that big, like that big wave, right?
Now I get what you're trying to
And then there was a small waves too, like little puddle and little spray and little things going around. And she says, oh my God, look at these little waves. And they're so little. Oh my God, that's so bad, right? So she went through these emotions of jealousy as well as littleness to the little waves, right? So that what happened is the shore was rushing up and she saw that everybody was going here and there and moving around all the waves. So she went to her friend and said, what is going on? What is going on? So her friend says, you know what? Shore is rushing up. Shore is coming. What's going to happen there? The waves die, right? So we are all going to die soon. Yeah, right? So now this little wave got scared, right? She said, oh my God, I'm going to die. I don't want to die. I want to live forever. And with this emotions, she saw that there was a little wave Gita class going on. So they little wave went to the Gita class. So what did the Gita class was teaching them? The Gita class was saying that, okay, you are a wave, right? You're gonna
She's telling
die.
them the story.
You're gonna die. But what is gonna be? Like what is it? What are you made up of? Water, right? So what's gonna happen is the water inside you never dies. What does it do? Evaporate. It takes another form.
It becomes another wave.
It makes another form. It takes another form of wave, or it becomes foam, or it becomes water vapor, or it becomes a sparkle, or it becomes something. But the water
Never goes away.
never goes away. It stays forever. So this little wave kept thinking, and after a long time she realized that, oh my God, the water that is I am made of, that never dies. I just, what do? I change
Form.
the forms, right? So if I die, this form of my wave, little wave dies. But what's going to happen is, I'm going to come back and I make another form. So there were 3 kinds of learning that came out of it. The first thing, that she was not scared of dying. Because what happens is, you reform. You're going to come back in a different form. So there is no scare of dying because it's not going away, right? The second part is, there is no jealousy because what's happening?
You'll reform.
That big wave is also made of water. The little wave is also made of water, right? And that littlest wave that you were thinking about, so little about them, they are also water. So everybody has the same thing in them. They are all water. So no jealousy, right? No jealousy, no envy, no contempt. Nothing comes in. And you are all good. Like, because there is no material made, nothing separate than you and me. Right? And the third thing that comes is, what happens is, as a wave, I'm different than the other wave. Right? There is a big wave, there is a small. As a wave, I'm different. But if I think as a water,
I'm the same.
we all are same. Right? So, when you look into the shlok, what is it saying is, like, if we look as a consciousness, as an atma, or as
Everyone's
a
the
soul, we all are
The same.
same. But we look as a Nishi, Risha, Janvi, Sane, Shaisha, then we are a different form. Right? But what happens? Eventually, if you look at consciousness level, we are
We're
all
same.
same. With different forms.
We all become blobs of bones and.
Right? So
Of
what happened is
consciousness.
everybody, yeah. So everybody, all the consciousness comes from the same thing. It's not separated from each other. So there is no jealousy between what the form is. What form and name are different. Are different than what we are. So whenever the person says, "Oh, I'm Arjun" or "I'm Krishna Bhagwan," he's saying, "I'm here right now," right? But there was no time then I was not there, and you were not there. It could be different form and name, but you were there. And in future, there might be a different form, different name, but you will be there, and I will be there, and all these things meant will be there. So you guys understand how things are going here, right? That's why Krishna Bhagavan is explaining that. Like, how half of our problem goes away when we see this consciousness that is in us is in everybody. And sometimes we talk about this consciousness as that's the God, right? So God is in me, the same God is in you. And when we start looking the world with this eye, what's going to happen? If we look the world in
No
the eyes
jealousy.
of that the God that's in me is the same God as in others, what's going to happen?
No jealousy, no envy, no hate towards anyone else.
No, nothing, right? You will feel like it's a part of God. That's the God, the same God in me is the same God in you, right? So you guys understand that part? All right. Now what happened is, it's very hard. Sometimes it needs to be explained this way. When we talk about body, how this is my body, right? When we talk about us, what do we talk about? If I talk about myself, what do we talk about myself? When I say this is me,
My
Your
name is
soul.
blah blah blah.
right? So we talk about what?
We're talking about ourselves.
Ourself as what? What are we thinking of ourselves
As
as?
Sonal or Krish.
Yes.
Or
We are thinking about
or-
this as me as body, mind, and intellect. Right? Whenever we talk about, hey, this is Sia. So what is happening? Sia is body, mind, intellect that we are talking about, right? Do we talk about this is Sia as a consciousness?
No.
No, right? We never talk about Sia as a consciousness, right? Or we don't talk about, have the same consciousness. Whenever we represent, because we fall into this body, mind, intellect thing so much that we start thinking that this is us. So knowledge of self is not knowledge of this as sonal. Knowledge of self is the consciousness behind this body or in this body. That's the one that I am. Right? So we can use I letter. I always use I small one as body, mind, intellect, and I capital one as
soul.
soul. Right? Body, mind, and intellect.
Don't you supposed to capitalize everything?
How do you write down?
No.
Like
There's
this?
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Is that okay?
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, so what were you
Say
saying?
capital I at the start in sentences.
Okay, capital I, yeah.
Like a G.
I know. Or J. You got it? Whenever we talk about capital I, means I as a soul. That doesn't make a difference that we stop saying myself as Sona. I will not introduce, oh, I'm consciousness, nice to meet you.
It's like, hey, I'm conscious.
Right? We're not going to say that because we are in this world and we have to live this life. But what we're going to have to feel it is this: my body, my mind, and my intellect is not me. There is me that is witnessing body, mind, and intellect. Right? So when we get the knowledge, that's where we moved our, that's where we get the knowledge of self.
So
Right? Now, here is the thing. One time, in spirituality, it is divided as gross body and subtle body, right?
What?
Can anybody give me an example of what do you take as your
gross body.
what do you take as what is the example of gross and what is the example of subtle?
Being fit. Being fit.
Huh?
What are we talking about?
Gross versus subtle body.
What?
I don't know.
Gross.
Take a guess on
Gross versus subtle bodies.
what an example of gross being like fit or something?
Huh?
Would it be like being fit or something?
No, that's the body is
Body.
the body. So what you can see,
You being ugly.
what you can see is
gross.
gross,
Yes.
right? So what you can see,
Eyes. Face.
yeah, the body, the entire body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yes, I was right.
Right.
I was right.
You were right. Okay.
What's it called?
See yourself
Gross.
being fit.
Because it's you can see. Okay. That's another word. Okay, what is subtle?
But you can't see.
Your thoughts.
Your heart.
Your
Thoughts.
thoughts. Your
What your mind is thinking, what your intellect is thinking,
That's your
you don't see it,
count as your brain.
right? So that's subtle.
Now,
Now, the body is gross, the mind and intellect is subtle, but what is the subtlest?
the soul.
Soul. So always think about it, the body, mind, GR,
OSS.
and
SUB.
Wait, what's
TL.
gross? The soul and the body.
No, the
No,
gross
no.
is the body.
Oh, just the body?
And then
just the body,
Mind
the
and
entire body, right?
And then subtle.
And mind and intellect would be subtle.
Why do you put S capital and B capital and everything?
it doesn't
else?
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm really bad at writing.
As long as
that.
you can read it, it's fine.
If you don't understand content, ask me, I will tell you. You got it? Now the consciousness, the soul would be what?
Subtlest. Most subtle.
Subtle.
Most subtle.
Actually, yeah, I show most subtle.
So immaterial things are subtle?
What?
Like things you can't see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't know, like you have to feel it, right? Inside your body.
You can't see it.
You cannot see it, simple as that. Usually it
But
is
can
given 19 things are subtle in our body, but I don't want you to take to that path. Just right now, let's simplify it and just put 2 things as subtle, one as gross, and one as most subtle. So, consciousness.
You can also
The
write
subtlest.
least subtle.
I don't know if that's the word. I
Just
don't
write
know.
least subtle.
Right? So when we talk about this, we actually hang in body and mind and intellect. Whenever we think about ourselves, what do we think? Oh, what are we thinking? Right? That's the first word. And the thinking comes from where?
Mind and intellect.
Mind and intellect, right? Intellect is decision making. Mind is thoughts. All the thoughts that come, right? So whenever we think about any thoughts that are coming up for ourselves, where does it generate from? Mind, right? So our thoughts are generating from mind, and that's what we are taking it as me. That's me. But now I want you to think about this. Take a second, right? I want you to close your eyes, think something, anything, whatever you want to think. Let me start when I say start, okay? Just think about something, and then see that is there anything else witnessing that thought?
What?
Okay. I know it will be confusing.
I did this.
Huh?
You did this once.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is the thing again.
Kinda get it away.
When you close your eyes, think about something. And then do you feel in your body there's something else that witnessing this thought that is going in your mind?
That's kind of creepy.
I know. It is. But look at it. Okay, can we do a second of eyes closed? 5 seconds eyes closed. Think about it and then see if anything is witnessing your thought, what is coming through.
Hard.
It's hard, right? But
Is someone like just gonna pop up and be watching us?
you yourself,
Feel it.
you yourself will feel it. So again, think something and just see, is there anything else that can witness that, oh my God, Saisha is thinking this, it's going.
Conscious to think.
Okay, think it. One thing, again, okay,
Just
close
think
your
about
eyes.
your
One-
favorite video game.
Will someone pop up?
Somebody will not pop up. What I want you to feel
Feel your
is
favorite book or movie or something.
anything, feel anything. Would
A
you
movie,
feel
a
that there is, that when you are thinking, the thought is being witnessed by your consciousness, right? So again, think and then see if this thought is being witnessed by your consciousness.
Before I even started thinking, I already had feelings in this room.
Okay, again, one more time. I want you to have this because we want to live it, right? We just don't want to get the knowledge. So, the thought that comes in your mind is your consciousness witnessing that thought coming in your mind. Okay?
Explain it with the dream thing. That
Yeah.
example.
Okay. Anybody has any experience there? Okay. So now let's go again back. Okay. So when you are awake, you think you are Sunil, right? Right? You think you are Sia, and you think you are Janvi, right? When you are awake, right? Everybody has a name and form, right? That's what they are representing. Okay. Now think in the dream. When you go in the dream, what happens? You might stay Sunny, you might stay Sia, you might stay as Janvi, or whatever you are
It'll
thinking.
be a different character.
You might be a different character, right? You never know what's coming up. You can go to Paris and be on Eiffel Tower, right? Or you are sleeping in the bed. Your body stays where it is. But what happened?
Your
Your consciousness goes to other places.
Places. Your mind went to other places too. Because your mind traveled. That's why your dream came. Right? You got that point? So when you are dream, your body is not with you. What is with you?
Your
mind.
Mind,
Your intellect.
intellect, and or probably intellect is not there. You are not making much decisions there, right?
Yeah.
So your mind and your consciousness is with you, right? Now think about you are in deep sleep, right? You fall in deep sleep.
How do you know when you go on sleep?
I know. That's
you woke up-
very
when you woke up,
good
you
question.
know.
Very good question. When you wake up, you will tell, "Oh my God, I had a good sleep."
Or
There was something that tell you had a good sleep. How do you know you had a good sleep?
Because if you wake up in your dream and there's no clocks, that means you're not dreaming. I mean, that means you are dreaming.
Yeah.
Wait, wait.
So now let's take deep sleep part. Deep sleep, does your body was with you?
Oh, no.
No.
No, you didn't even know. Right?
Mine
While you're
was
sleeping, like.
think
No,
that
Your mind was not even there, otherwise it would have worked.
It was on shutdown.
Yeah,
when
it's
before
dreaming.
I sleep,
Yeah, because you're sleeping.
how am I sleeping? sleep that much.
Good
Since
sleep.
It's a long time until I have to wake up.
Yeah.
Why do I have to? Why am I going to sleep so early?
Early, yeah, I know. So, you guys understand? Again, let's go back because it's very important to understand this concept. So, when we go in deep sleep, right? Our mind is not with us.
No.
Our body is not with us.
Or intellect. No.
What it stays with us that told us that we had a good sleep.
Intellect.
The same thing.
Intellect was
Mind.
not with us.
Mind.
We are not
The
making-
same thing that just witness your thoughts.
The same thing that witnessed your thought told you that you had a
just
good
thought
sleep.
this. And told you that you
Your-
had a good sleep.
Consciousness.
Your conscious, your soul. It's the same thing. Yeah, right? So here is the thing again. Let's walk through this because this is the soul of the whole Gita and you will keep getting this. So if you don't understand this concept, we will keep coming back to it. But let's repeat one more time. So when you are in active form, you have a body, mind, intellect, consciousness with you, right? You are working through it. But what do you think? That this body, this mind, this intellect is what I am, right? That's how you work. I ate, or as
I played football.
I
I
played
watched
football.
TV.
I watched TV. You know everything because your mind, your intellect, your consciousness, and your body all stayed with you. Now, when you went to sleep, what happened? And you're dreaming.
They all left.
They all left, except probably your mind is there, right?
Your mind is your
And you are actually seeing the entire world in a different form, right?
And when you wake up, how do you remember your krish?
Then you went to deep sleep. Krishna, what's that? Then you went to deep sleep, right? Now there is no mind working, no dreams coming, nothing coming, right? You have a deep sleep. So deep sleep means there was no body, there was no mind, there was no intellect. Still you stayed there. What was there?
The soul.
The consciousness was there.
And soul.
And so
That's the
it's
same.
the same
Same
way.
thing.
So
Different.
that was there.
Still
So in
there.
one stage you had everything. In next stage you did not have anything. You just had consciousness and mind. In the third stage, mind gone away. Its only state was consciousness, right? So when we were practicing this thing that we have a thought that is been witnessed by consciousness. Sometimes you are thinking something. Doesn't something in the back says, oh, you are thinking wrong thing. Don't think that way. Does that come? Oh, this is not the good person thinking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Right? If your mom asks you to do something and you don't do something, doesn't in yourself, it says, oh, we should help her. We should not do this way, but we still don't do it.
What?
No, I don't. That sense of guilt makes me mad at myself, so I have to do it.
You have to do it, right?
Depends on the person.
I'm such a bad kid.
Yeah. So again, I'm saying it that there is something that actually is witnessing all your actions, all you do as a consciousness in your body, which stays with you every time, even if you sleep, if you are awake, or if you are dreaming, or if wherever you are, your body leaves, your mind leaves, your intellect leaves away, but your consciousness stays with you on all the three steps. Right? Yes. Anna?
Wait, so does your consciousness make you like? Is it like the consciousness associated with dreaming?
The consciousness is there, right? That's why you know that you dreamt, right?
Oh.
You know you dreamt.
I mean, your mind can tell you too.
Your mind can tell you too, but what happens is your body was not there, still you were living and doing everything, right? So in the dream you ate pizza, right? And then you have a leftover pizza in the dream that you left. Could you go back and eat that pizza next day? No. That was the dream, right? Right? So it doesn't continue.
I gave you a that
Yeah.
I put his number.
So now let's go back. Let's go back to this whole thing again. Let's come back. Okay. Oh my God! It's already. Okay.
36.
Yeah, but
That's
That's
a
a-
chapter.
yeah,
It's
tell
like
me.
the consciousness is your guard.
Yes. Okay. So now the God says, listen, Krishna Bhagavan here says that there was no time when I was not there. There will be no time that I will not be there. Right? The same way, there is no time that you are not there. There is no time that you will not be there. Right? So before and after. So you know the scaredness of death, the dramatic change that we go through, right? So if we keep this body as ourself, then we will go through this pain of living and dying. If we put our mindset to the soul level, that deep consciousness level, we will not go through this sorrow of life and death. Then what's going to happen is we have to live the life. This will be there. But then what's going to happen is we will take it as we are changing the form from going from one form to another. And that, if we keep it that level, the desires will go away. Like the worldly desires will settle down. And what's going to happen is there will be not much sorrow to grieve on. Right? So that's what the whole entire this slok means. Is he is saying that he is actually talking about immortality of yourself. Right? Though you are acting like a mortal person right now, right? Because you are concentrating on your you as a body and mind and intellect, right? You are concentrating here. But as soon as you think that you are in this life as a form, you have to just do your duties and you will do those duties. Then what's going to happen is you are here as a consciousness, as a soul, that's you. Then you are always surviving. Nobody gives you a birth, nobody takes your life away. It's always there. Right? So no worries. Why do worry? Right? And nobody is there to give you life. It's always driven by somebody, some God is handling all these things, right? So we don't have to worry about when, if there is something given it to you, no matter where you are, you're gonna live. Have you heard that people got, people got into the place where, that 10 kids were stuck in that cave for how many days?
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Right?
Soccer,
Which
that
kid?
soccer
That
kids.
soccer team whose birthday it was, and then they
Yeah,
went
I didn't see
yeah.
All
It was in
that
news
10
a
kids
couple
got
years
saved. Can you believe,
But
for
then they
staying without food for 10, 15 days
Like
and they got
10-year-old
saved?
10 kids after
Who?
soccer game.
Who saved them?
Their coach took
Because
one of the kids.
they were not ready to pass this body away to some other form. Right? That's why they still got saved. So people in really hard case scenario where nobody can survive, they will survive. But people who could have survived, they don't survive. Right? So it's nothing, nobody's held. It's not in anybody's hands, right? So why to worry? That's what Krishna Bhagavan was saying in slok number 11, why to grieve? Right? Now he's saying the immortality about ourself. And that's what he's explaining in slok number 12. Okay, yeah. What are you saying, Jan?
I think I know who saved the 10 kids. Their consciousness.
You're right. God. Right?
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
I haven't heard this story.
Okay, I will tell you the story later. Okay, guys. So we might not take 14th because it's already.
We only did one slok.
But it's going to be like this. It's very important that you understand the theme of the entire thing.
Now,
Right? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharunamardana Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.